Hello, this is Lisa Dittel, and I'm with the Hutchinson Veterans Outreach Program. Today we're here at the Eagle's Nest, and we got Melanie Butler here with us. You run the nest. There's a lot of stuff going on. Right now we're standing beside the traveling wall. We're standing over here by the Afghanistan and Iraq wall. There are several other ones. We have the Vietnam one right behind here. There's dedications to the POWs, to the Cold War.
Twin Towers.
Twin Towers. I would highly suggest, if you get a chance, come out here and take a look at it. I know it won't be here for long, because it does travel. But I know we've got a situation going on in Afghanistan right now, and there's a lot of people that are hurting, and a lot of soldiers that are hurting. There's a lot of remembrance of Vietnam along with what's going on. So I've kind of asked Melanie if she could give a little bit of inspiration to the vets that are out there that are maybe going through a hard time.
The commitment to our veterans from our Vietnam era to our Iraq and Afghanistan has been amazing. But in the light of another epic government fail, not a failure from those who served and continue to serve, we don't leave anyone behind. This is really leaving a foul taste and causing a lot of crisis. So it's important. We made the commitment to have the Vietnam Wall here, and AVTT was blessed us to bring in all the memorials because they too believe that they all served and multiple sacrifices. But I think it's important that vet to vet is truly what helps. And in the course of and in the light of the attack in Kabul and by the terrorists, and you know, our veterans like yourself, they have this philosophy of never leaving anyone behind.
Exactly.
So when the government essentially left them on their own, that creates and stirs a whole lot of fire in that belly. So we've been fielding calls from those Gold Star families that just found out that they're now Gold Star families, including one of our veterans here found out after our program today that someone he served with was lost in Afghanistan this morning. So the hope is that they continue to do just that, reach out. Tim Burley sat with him in our chapel. We have, and watching them gather around and just sharing the stories and making that commitment that they're not alone. And they have a right to be angry, and they have a right to be angry at our government, but they also know that love, that patriotism, what that oath meant to them, and they take that very seriously.
Exactly.
And so to know that they've created a place, because quite honestly, I don't run the nest. They do. This is their creation. And we just always believe that if you gave them that place, that they would create that. And it's come to fruition. And they are supporting and loving each other and reaching out to each other. I mean, today we had 3 phone calls. Yesterday we had 4. And they just want to come home and decompress and be around those that know what they're going through and know what that feels like. And
also know they have a right to heal.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we had our service this morning, our memorial service, and you know, I don't do things traditional inside the box. I wanted to give them that voice, so I allowed them to come up and speak, to share what they're experiencing and with each other and what that means to them, and to see their faces, although somber, because it's a memorial, but also that those that gave the ultimate sacrifice know and understand what that oath is. But they also would want them to live, right? They'd want them to heal. They'd want them to have the best life that they can have. And this expectation that we we can send our men and women, our children, our brothers, our sisters, our aunts and uncles off to war and not expect that to change them. But something in our country has changed. So the things that they held true, they're watching it fall. And so many of them are angry. The Vietnam veterans are remembering Saigon, Benghazi. You know, to talk about that. And we heard Troy speak this morning that you don't give up those bases. You don't do that. We don't leave people behind. And so
That's a built-in.
it truly is. And then to hear the spin that the government puts on it infuriates them, right? They're not saying that all Afghanistans are bad, but the bottom line was that when they took down the Twin Towers and the war on terror was initiated, the patriotism, the red, white, and blue was strong. You attacked our country. You attacked our freedoms, our constitutions. You took away our safety, and our warriors went overseas and took the battle to them, and they repeatedly told us over and over, we must stay there at least 2 generations to bring democracy here. And no one listened. And they watched, you know, we talked about that today. We watched the metro burn down, but who stepped up? The veterans did. This is our state. This is our country. So there's hope, and the hope was that they would find their way here. And so today, 4 called, and another veteran spoke with them, and they're on their way here. They don't have to live here. They can come. Camp Gypsy is full of veterans. People from the community are coming. This does bring hope, that there are still good people and good Americans. You know, they slowly picking away at that oath that you all took. And that beast in the belly has risen, and they're tired of it. And not only do they want to heal, they want their country back.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming and enjoying the day with us.
losing 22 vets a day, and then I start checking in on the cops, and the cops and the firefighters were losing 18 a day, and then I start checking in the general public, and it's an epidemic. So I said, I'm just going to do this kind of generic. So what I did is I just interviewed people who either had PTSD or maybe knew somebody or whatever, and I had pages of them.
Wow.
I love this place. I think it's great.
Yeah, she does
This is
really
their
good work
this
here.
is their you know, their logo.
Oh yeah.
I put a dog with a leash in his mouth. Please come home. In other words, if you do yourself in, who's going to take care of you? I want to put a little guilt trip on these guys also, because
Whatever works.
yep, and they have to want to get help before they can get help. So
Exactly.
and if you know anything about horses, everything you can tell on a horse you can tell by looking in their eyes.
Yep.
So I just got a guy here just getting healed by this horse. I put him without a uniform or anything because I want this to cover everybody, you know.
Yep.
But this is kind of all on, or I shouldn't say all, but for the military, we got all 6 of the branches of service now. The cost of war doesn't end when the guns are silenced, and that's
So true.
so true, because people think they serve 4 years and they're done and we're done, and it ain't
It's
like
not.
that,
It doesn't go away.
And here we repeat what we don't repair, and this is a big on all of them. Every inch inside and out, it's all got different sayings.
Wow.
Here I got all the different first responders. Here I got, I'll stick with us the rest of our lives, I'm sorry I tried, and then I got a fighter. What I'm trying to get at that is, if you have a cop or a fighter might have lost a kid in a fire or an accident, he's not going to go home that night, have dinner, have a beer,
And enjoy the
watch
rest of
TV.
his night.
No,
It's gonna
I mean
go
this is
through
going
his
to
head.
could haunt him and get that's a lot of them what they see on a daily basis. You know, if you see somebody that's like this all the time, there's something wrong. And all they need, you can help them by just talking to them. Yep. Call them up or talk to them or whatever. So, same thing, all different sayings. This one, I had a lady come up to me and she said, "Can you put aggression equals depression?" Tell me what it is. Tell me what you're trying to get, because I got a spiel. And she said, well, my husband is very depressed. The more depressed he gets, the more angry he gets. The more angry he gets, the more aggressive he gets. He ends up
Which brings him back to
but
depression.
he ends up beating me. And I said, oh, swell, I didn't know. I wasn't expecting that, but she said he's getting help now, but I want this to be a teaching learning saddle. So all these other saddles are all nice oak straight, nice tight knots. This one's messed up. But if you got PTSD, you are messed up. But you're still a thing of beauty and you're still useful. That's what I'm trying to get at there. You know, don't, I mean, that was getting ready to get cut up and thrown in the burn pile. It's not, you know.
It's not useless.
No. Each one of these feathers takes me about 3.5 hours to carve. Each one of them's got a color on it. Well, I don't have them all memorized yet, but like white is if you lost a sibling, that's what it was, to suicide. I didn't know nothing about the healing crystals until I started coming here and started doing a little bit of research. Found out that the Native Americans would hire or would send their sick into the crystal caves in the Dakotas to get healed, and a lot of these are donated by vets that they said that helped them, and they gave it to me to help some. And I said, if you believe it helped you, I'm putting it in there. You know, I don't. If you don't believe it, don't have to. You know, whatever. But this is the colors of PTSD. Gold is suicide. So, and this one here has been a tearjerker. I mean, you know, especially here.
So what got you into doing this?
I'm a saddle maker by trade.
Okay.
And then when the economy went in the toilet, and you know, people weren't buying my saddles, mine are a little high end, and I just wanted to honor our vets, and so I did this one. This was my first one. That, like I said, I got done with this in about 2012.
Wow.
And then my wife and I started counting all the people who either had cancer or died from cancer, and there's a cancer saddle in there. just don't have room, and I was nervous about rain, so I was getting ready to.
Oh, exactly.
So that one's held up. That one's got a whole another story on it. And then this law enforcement one, what I wanted to do is just put a uplifting, thanking, praising our law enforcement. Put a positive outlook on them. If you want negative on cop, turn the TV on. I mean,
there are a lot of good police officers.
And I just said, I see the same thing that's happening to our cops that happened with the boys coming back from Vietnam.
Yep.
You have a few, I mean, such a small fraction of bad, you don't punish everybody, so that's what I did here. We have 87 counties in the state of Minnesota. I got all 87 of the counties to donate a badge. And, which is not an easy task because it's illegal for a precinct to give a civilian a badge.
Mm-hmm.
But once I start getting them, then the cities start getting jealous and they start wanting a badge. So they start donating badges to it.
Okay.
I was told I'll never get a state or a federal badge because they have to get turned in when they retire.
Okay.
I proved them wrong. Here's the Minnesota Highway Patrol. Now it's called State Patrol. Here's one from the city of Duluth. It's number 23. It's over 4,000 now, what I was told. These are real handcuffs and leg irons from the late 1800s. They were made by Tower. They were the Cadillac of them. This here is the police for 20 plus years. Their main handgun was a police positive 38.
Yep.
All the gang bad guys had big 357s, 44s, and all that. So I took a real Colt, cut it in half, shipped it away to a bit and spur maker friend of mine in Idaho, and this is what we came up with. So we got honor to badge, protect and serve, and then this would be nothing but a club if it wasn't loaded, so I made it sure it looked like a loaded gun. One day I was at the state fair with this, and had a cop from Farmington looked at the saddle. He said, "You got Farmington?" I said, "Nope." He took it right off his chest.
Oh, wow.
Well, he happened to be the chief, so
well,
he can
that
do
helps,
that.
Yep.
This is what I was getting at. And cops are, you know, they're good guys. They're good. They don't get up in the morning and gonna think they're gonna beat up people. They're there to help you. So this is Saber. This is our Wright County Sheriff's Canine. He always had he died 6 days before his retirement, and he always had a little quirk in his ear. So then I put Saber and then the end of watch. But this thing here, I've never seen it before, and I wanted, before I even started the project, but law enforcement officers are peacetime soldiers always at war. And I thought, how true, and that's what I wanted on this side.
Mm-hmm.
Most of your, like your law enforcement have military backgrounds. So.
Exactly.
So this one I wanted to, I'm honoring all 5 of the branches of service and any groups and organizations. Now we got 6, but when I built this we only had 5.
Yep.
So I'll make it quick. We got the VA, VFW, American Legion, USO, Red Cross. Some gave all gave some. Freedom isn't free. And if you look here at the Navy, there's a ship in here.
Oh, wow.
Marines, there he is pointing a sniper rifle at you. Hiroshima, POW, DAV Auxiliary, this American GI in Korea, that's the right uniform during the Korean War. Healing Water is another good group. They actually started out in Minnesota. I think they're more out of Wyoming and Montana now.
Okay.
But I needed a lot of room, so I just built a separate piece for it here. So we got Wounded Warriors Project, Canine Corps, Medical Corps, and I wanted a soldier's prayer. And this is actually Trace Atkins' last verse of his song. And then I put Amen on the back side. Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, in honor of the fallen soldier. Army Special Forces. Now I had a cousin that was in the Army Special Forces. I knew he was a lifer in there, but I didn't realize he was in Special Forces. That's how secret and that's how humble they are. When he ended up dying of cancer, I went to his wake and there was a lunch table just full of medals, ribbons, and awards. It felt like about 2 inches high because I didn't realize how much he did for our country. And, you know, I was fairly close to him. But
yeah, they don't tell you.
No, but his nickname was Rhino because he was such a big, tough guy, so, you know, I tooled a Rhino.
Oh.
There's a kiss after World War II.
Yep.
VFW, the American Legion Auxiliaries, Gold Star Mothers, the WAC, the Merchant Marine on a branch of our service, but they helped a lot and I wanted to make sure I honored them.
Yep, exactly.
I wanted Arlington, so I got a guy missing a limb saying goodbye to his buddies. I got a guy playing taps, John F. Kennedy's PT 109. little girl saying goodbye to her dad getting deployed, Submarine Corps, National Veterans Wheelchair Games. A lot of these are all copyrighted, so they wouldn't let me put it on there. And this wheelchair one let me put it on there. Patriot Guard Riders, another good group, but that was copyrighted. But they're thinking I'm profiting from this, and I'm, you know, so I just changed the logo and made my own, and I think mine's a little cooler than theirs anyway. So if you look here, here's a little old man in a wheelchair at the VA hospital saying goodbye to his buddies. I built a gun rig for Bill Kesey. He's a retired 3-star general in the Marines, but he's also the owner of Colt Firearms. So I called him up, told him what I wanted to do. I said I needed a big favor. I needed a 1911 government issued 45, but I really didn't have much money. He sent me this gun, gave it to me, and when I came, I cut it in half and shipped it away to a bit and spur maker friend, the same guy on that other one. But we got tributed troops, we got a tank, a jeep, or a plane, a ship, a tank, a jeep. We got a regime in here. Up here we got tributed troops under here. Every inch of that's carved, every inch of this is engraved inside and out.
Wow.
Now the reason I chose this weapon, it's the longest running handgun in our military's history. From 1911 to 1985, if you were qualified with a handgun, that was it. So that's why I put the 45 ACPs back here. I have a Vietnam buddy that's Native American. I hired him to do the bead work. I have another friend of mine who's Vietnam, got sprayed with Agent Orange, and I'm going to say about 17 years ago he got diagnosed with cancer and they gave him 2 months to live. But he wasn't ready to go. And 3 weeks ago he was in my shop. So
Nice.
He's a cabinet maker. When he saw what I was doing, he built and donated the deals. So that's your nickel tour on that one. This is a Gibson SG that I cut up to make it look like a 1911 government issued 45. Honoring all 5 of the branches of service. Back here, it's heavy.
Oh,
And none forgotten, none left behind. I got Lee Greenwood's Proud to Be in America with the right music, and I would have shot a 45 ACP. So, and I'm hoping somebody, some patriotic, you know, Toby Keith or somebody will play this someday. And it's a working playing guitar. So, this is a Gibson Les Paul. Normally you have a notch in here. I filled that in. And this goes with my police saddle, honor the badge. And then back here.
nice.
And it's a working playing guitar also. This is my next saddle. Women in the military. This is what I start out with. And what I want people to do is if I just jot things down. They give me ideas what I want to put on here. Like for instance, the cop one. I had a whole pile of them, and a lot of them were saying Blue Lives Matter. Well, I had this one cop come up to me and said, an old timer, and he just said, this is your piece, you do what you want, but I don't recommend you putting Blue Lives Matter. He said, we don't want to be associated with that group. You know, that's a, and I got thinking, it's
Why
right.
make a cutoff?
Yeah,
All
so,
of us matter.
Yeah, and so anyway, that's my next project right there. I start out with a regular tree like I would, you know, and it takes me roughly a year to make one because half the time it takes just for the research. And I got to come up with, all these have got their own little wow effects. I got to have a wow effect on this. I just don't want different things on there. I want something that, you know, really, I just don't want it boring, I'll put it that way. You know.
The one thing I can actually say about women in the military is we've never been drafted, we've always volunteered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's on my sheet. You're not the first one to put that. In fact, last weekend I had it out, and that was one of the things I said. Makes a lot of sense. You know,
It's like we didn't have to go.
Right, right.
We did because we felt we should.
So on this one, you said my wife's a cancer survivor, and I happen to lose a friend to cancer, and I just start counting on my hands and toes of how many people I knew that had cancer or died of cancer, and I ran out of fingers and toes. So I just said I'm gonna do one to honor them. We have We have 29 different cancers out there. Each cancer has a color. Some of them share the same color, so this is a cancer wheel, color wheel. There's 22 different colors on here. Same thing, I went and interviewed people who either had cancer or knew somebody, and that's everybody. So all these are different sayings. Now, the other ones I put stiffer leather in there, I could pick them up. These are hard for me to do, that's why. And then I got cancer don't discriminate, so I got young, old, black, white. I didn't know how to put rich or poor. Behind here, every inch has got a different saying, inside and out. I feel there's two ways of curing cancer, and that's medicine and prayer. So we got the medical insignia out here, and so we're praying for a cure. Searching for a cure, so I just got a scientist down here. You could say every inch. I wanted hospice on there. If anybody's ever dealt with the hospice, they're saints, you know.
Like that other one too.
This one? Yeah. What I do is I have a regular board with all the sayings on it. Every one. I have a neighbor who, Chloe Fruits, was a world champion youth barrel racer, and she ended up dying of cancer, and just for this was her saying was keep moving forward. So I put the childhood goal, and then find a cure. So this one goes to children's hospitals, different hospitals, and so that's your nickel tour.
That's a fantastic tour.
Thank you.
It really is.